Welcome to the first game that we get to cast on this new patch. Suns fan here with Cinder and Aurora versus BetBoom. I don't think we could have asked for a better matchup. And not only are we talking about the dynamics between these teams, the history between these players, but also the differences in approach to this new patch. The panel kind of touched on it. One side, which is Aurora, just the old meta. Nothing has really changed. This is as if there was no patch last night. And on the other side, BetBoom, we're seeing some somewhat crazy stuff with the Lina and Omni Knight.
The thing that stood out to me a lot in this draft was that the first phase bans were very much the same. It was like many of the top tier heroes from the previous patch are still getting removed. Namely, I immediately was wondering, okay, how much does this nerf affect TA? They first banned it again. So we'll see. But yeah, you're right. I'm not going to say Aurora made zero adjustments because the heroes that they picked and the priority that they put them on, I think, is slightly changed. Like the order in which they were chosen and what was available, that they chose it over. But this is, as you said, still every single hero they play here is something they already were. Whereas for BetBoom, we're going to see Miro on, I believe this is actually one of his favorite heroes. So I think he was super excited to just try this out, the offlane Omni Knight. And GPK is back on one of his absolute classics in mid on the Lina. Lane dominator that really takes advantage of strong lane mechanic skills and has effectively zero bad matchups in mid, more or less. This is one of the most bulletproof heroes to put in that lane.
Yeah, Kiyotaka on the Storm Spirit. That hero I don't think was touched at all based on what I'm seeing on. I'm just going to be hovering over the tooltips for the most part in this game.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that one seems to be completely untouched. The Storm was already good in the last patch. It should likely continue to be good in this one.
Yeah, I really like what Purge touched upon, though, that because this is something that I think people don't put enough emphasis on, is sometimes, you know, what do you think? When people open the changelog, let's say you're an average casual player, you open the changelog, where do you go? You go and check what happened to your favorite heroes, right?
Well, no, you check out the Clockwork Chainmail and then the Pudge Persona.
If I had to guess, I think what most people put the most emphasis on in the patch notes is the heroes that I love to play, are they better or worse?
Yeah,
right?
I did the same thing with Centaur, so yeah.
So you just go and check your favorite heroes, and then perhaps you glance over a little bit whether there's like some systemic changes where multiple things adding up will make certain heroes better or worse. And Purge just pointed out there's multiple things about Storm. Trusty Shovel is gone, so you can't get that.
Yep, true.
There's less mana regen on Kaya, and I forgot what the third thing he said was. But there's like a pattern, right, of like multiple things. So maybe Storm is still the same hero, but he might be significantly worse because of external factors, right?
Yep, very true.
And on the flip side, perhaps other heroes that didn't even get buffed will be a lot better because their counter matchups are worse and because you know, certain items they like to buy are better, whatever it is.
Yep, save in a bit of trouble. Gets purified, but eventually will fall to Nightfall for first blood on the Tiny. Tiny was nerfed a bit in this patch. Avalanche does less damage, and more importantly, Grow, the attack speed reduction is increased, so overall nerfs it looks like for the most part on this hero. Still playing it in this position 1, but really the hero I want to talk about is Miero on the Omni Knight. The Hammer of Purity having 0 mana, that's a big deal. And it slows the target, and the attack range is 75. I feel like this was one that was sometimes harder to get off. Now the extra 75 probably makes a pretty big difference.
It is going to help. I'm a little bit worried for this bot lane for BetBoom that... Oh, they're actually in big trouble here. Miro surely dead for this.
Yep, he's ticking out. Nope, never mind. The slow from save, preventing any further chase. Now Panto in the trees. Miero actually comes back. We'll use the purification on himself as Panto eventually taken out. So save, getting the better of that exchange. Nightfall wants to continue, though. And it does have Avalanche in just a moment with the toss, so that should ensure the trade. So Nightfall already with 2 kills in this early game.
Yeah, pretty unusual to see Tiny's skill toss level 3 as a carry, but moment of opportunity there, a rare one to get value. Yeah, so I was just thinking in this lane whether Omni Knight should skill repel on level 2 instead of purification. The cooldown is just so insanely long. Like, repel level 1 is 55-second cooldown.
Yeah. It's like an ultimate almost.
Yeah, the thing is just this ability in theory is incredible against Jakiro because Jakiro places so many debuffs on you, even on level 2, with dual breath as well as liquid fire. If you repel that, you get a lot of HP regen, And of course, with the magic resistance, you can kind of negate everything Jakiro does, but you can do it once every minute. So perhaps it's a little bit too naive to think that will work for them.
And what about for Lina? So GPK, you talked about that's one of his signature heroes from back in the day. I haven't been seeing it too much in this last patch. But with the new one, we're going to see a little fight in the bottom side of the river. Kiyotaka and Mira will be joining this as well as GPK is going to take the brunt of it. And the Ice Shard blocking off save. He's going to get a kill in Panto. Gets the win run off as well. So actually I think he might be okay. Kiyotaka's only level 4, so ends up being a 1-for-1, but definite favor to Aurora.
I like the new pings as well. You're seeing them here when the team's ping. There's like a lot of... There's multiple new options, I believe.
Oh, a heart. Very useful.
And they have different sound effects, so it's easier to distinguish what exactly is being pinged for. And
oh, yeah, that's a nice sound. That's very calming, actually. Mira continuing to get harassed quite a bit in this lane. Does have better CS than the opposing off lane in Toronto, Tokyo, but it is pretty close.
I guess something you didn't touch upon yet is going into the series, you would think Aurora should be favorites based on group stage performance, group stage 1 that is. They looked like one of the best teams of the tournament, whereas BetBoom were a little bit of a mixed bag. They made it through, but not by a lot compared to Aurora that had plenty of buffer. However, of course, a lot of things can change now. Toss back onto Miro, he will die. Easy pick.
Yep, so both offlaners dying around the same time globally. Mira going to get X into the Torrent is Kiritich looking to finish the job. And Kataomi will get credit for that one. Double kill for the AA.
Yeah. This is a very good lane for Kunkka. This is just... Tusk Enigma is in general a very powerful lane, but Kunkka probably up there with the best carries to play in this lane. You're pretty durable. You can cleave down the Eidolons. X-Mark interacts very nicely against Tusk in every situation that you get ahead.
Yeah.
So, hearing a Laguna Blade here. Bit of poke from GPK, just harassing with it effectively. Gets 10 stacks, of course. Off of that,
Cold feet
and
on Mira.
Rune. Good news for him.
Yeah, good regen. Going back to Kunkka, the Tidebringer was slightly buffed in terms of damage. And you remember, I forget who it was that was X-marking themselves in like little baby, the very short X's. I think it's probably muscle memory from the other facet, the Grog Blossom. Because when you return back with X, Kunkka and nearby allies gain Admiral's Rum buff.
But he did it to just hit creeps with.
No, I understand. I'm just saying maybe it's muscle memory from pubs or something. As Toronto, Tokyo, I mean, it's the only thing I can think of. Gonna get the ice. Okay, he's actually gonna run that off. His Kiritich is taking a lot of damage now from the Eidolons. A big Tidebringer, though. We'll delete most of them.
Well, this is... Okay, it looked like Kataomi was going to try to steal the Wisdom, but that's just not going to happen here. It's way too much coverage from the Radiant, but Save will take their own. So 1-for-1 trade, standard stuff here. Coming out. I mean, overall, the biggest winner in this game so far is the Tiny just off of kills, but nobody is really pulling significantly ahead in lanes aside from that. I guess, do you know that Lina is winning mid? She should. So she's 500 up on the Storm. I think that's kind of par for the course with how these lanes are supposed to go. So in terms of individual performance, with what you would expect as an outcome, nobody really being left behind here. Enigma and Omni Knight with the same net worth. I don't know, man. You're overall first picking Omni Knight, and then you're just losing your lane.
Okay, gonna use the Laguna Blade. 2 versus 1, but you can see the TP coming in, and the Tusk is the one that's in trouble. Mr. Mira completely surrounded from all angles. So good rotation from BetBoom, maybe even overkill.
Yeah, they brought a lot of assistance. That was unnecessary. Honestly, it looked like GPK could have held his own there. Didn't even really need the help against that initiation.
8-minute power rune.
Nice
Gonna be bottom as Shackle and the right clicks of GPK should suffice. And he is off to a pretty good start, 2-1 at the moment. Top net worth in the game.
Radiant's top tower.
This is one of my pet peeves about mid Lina players that I know this is popular, so I can't say like I'm sure this is just good. It just looks wrong to me to not have 1 point in LSA.
Oh, you can see the Invis being used by Kataomi. I think he might be regretting this choice. As Mira with the snowball. Now the zip from Kiyotaki. He's very low on mana, though, but AA still falls. What were you saying?
I'm just saying, this mid Lina stuff where you go 4-0-3 or 4-0-4 even, I just think, I don't know, like how much effectiveness are you getting out of this one extra point versus all of the utility of having Light Strike Array for when you get gone on, for when you're looking for kills?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I am completely on board with maxing Fiery Soul over the stun. It's not that. I just...
Yeah,
there are very few builds
is...
that pros do that I genuinely don't like, but that's probably one of the ones that stand out. Where I'm like, surely this 1 point in stun will... Like, it just needs to make a difference one time, right? Literally once.
Yeah.
Saving your life one time or getting you one kill you otherwise wouldn't have had, and it has to have been better than a third point in Fiery Soul. But yeah, it's a pattern. This is not a GPK only thing. I've seen multiple mid laners do this 4-0-3 stuff.
Because mid players are very greedy. They're min-maxers.
Yeah, but...
And they have mental issues. So all three of those together combine into not going for anything in LSA.
I see.
The value point surely is better. There's no way.
I could see how mental issues would make you not skill your stun. That makes a lot of sense. I get it.
Yeah, you knew a lot about that.
Yeah. Speaking of mental issues, first pick Omni Knight. A choice one can make.
I was excited, and now I don't know how I feel.
Nah.
I mean, this hero, the biggest issue with him historically, past Dota 1, that is, because Dota 1, he was a mid hero. He was ownage. You get S&Y basher, you just beat the shit out of everybody. But lately, it's like this identity issue. Are you a support? Are you a core? It's trying to be both to some degree, and it just feels, I don't know. A lot of heroes that does work for, though, so I can't really put my finger on exactly what it is.
What do you call a jack of all trades who's not even a jack? That's kind of Omni Knight.
Jenkins.
He's a jank of all trades.
Yeah.
That's Omni's problem. And I mean, this patch, I don't know if this Hammer of Purity change is intended to be, oh, this will make him better as both a support and a core, because obviously it will. Like, it's just, this skill just got better.
Yeah.
In every way.
I just thought of something simple.
But it's like, I don't know.
I thought it was the coolest
really
facet ever.
Okay.
We're going to get to this in just a moment. This is a really good idea, and Valve is going to be listening and definitely taking it.
Yep, for sure.
And it looks like this is going to break things up. Now, I'm not saying that it would be balanced right off the bat. You'd have to make number changes in several places. But what about the idea of Omni Knight? Let's try a black and white approach. The facet is like support versus core.
Okay.
The support, you're a ranged hero. Think about changing something fundamental like that. Your stats are different, obviously. That sounds kind of interesting to me.
Okay, so if he's a ranged hero with that facet, why would you not take that facet and be core?
Well, your stats would be significantly worse. Even your abilities, in some cases, would be worse.
Oh, I see. So
I'm just saying it's like a pretty drastic difference between the two. It's not like the Tidehunter one, which is still relatively so. As top lane, you can see Panto.
Just trying to do some tower damage. That did not work out very well for him.
Yep.
I'm not necessarily against that idea. I guess it's somewhat what they tried to do with Vengeance, right? Where she remains ranged but gets the melee aspects of being ranged.
Right.
Radiant scanning.
Yeah, that's true.
For me, I would rather, I don't know. I think Omni's biggest problem, honestly, is just the cooldown on Repel. I think if you want to make him either a support or a core, this spell just needs to change in some fashion. Like either lower cooldown and then have it be worse, or make it his ult and make it really good, and then rethink Guardian Angel into something else, right? Like something in that fashion, I think, would maybe help out. But we're at least getting to see him one game today. If this doesn't go well for BetBoom, maybe they won't run it again, but so far so good overall in the game, of course.
I mean, it's not.
Team as a whole are doing.
You're making it sound pretty grim. He's bottom net worth of the cores, but we can see the separation is not too.
No. It's just crazy. Okay, think of it this way: you overall first picked this hero, right?
Yeah.
And the buffs that he got have not really made any difference to the game. And at this point, how much is this going to matter down the stretch? Because I think the primary buff to this Hammer of Purity should be about, the mana cost when you're spamming it as much as you can in lane.
Oh, a good bait. GPK is going to get caught by the Avalanche into Ice Path. Mega stun after stun. That was a really good bait from Kiyotaki. He used all his mana, baited in GPK to be out of position just slightly as the smoke gank arrived.
Kiyotaka with his patented Boots of Travel Rush on the Storm.
Oh, here we go again.
But he's going Kaya second.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
What was it he did? No, he also did that last time, right? What was it? He went.
Oh, yeah.
he
It
went
was Kaya into
and then
Nullifier.
Nullifier.
Yeah. Which Nullifier is also very good here against...
Wind Ranger.
Well, doesn't it work against Omni anymore? Well, it works on Guardian Angel.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Repel, I guess.
No, Repel is...
This is dispellable.
It is dispellable. Wow. Okay. So both Guardian Angel and...
But it
Repel.
also gives you debuff immunity. So I don't know. This is like weird. I don't actually even remember, man. I've not even seen this hero for like a year.
I mean, if it says dispellable, then it
Yeah, sometimes it's like some parts are dispellable and some aren't. Like maybe you can dispel the HP regen, but not the immunity. You know what I mean?
should. So it's a mixed dispellable.
I think you can. If I had to guess, I think you can dispel the strength and HP regen of it, but not the
BKB.
debuff immunity.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know for a fact.
No, that sounds right.
Who knows?
Radiant's bottom tower.
Tier 1 tower looks to be given up for Aurora. BetBoom grouping up with 3. And the Radiance just about there for Kiritich. Actually buys it now on the way. So 13.5-minute Radiance
Yeah, not too shabby.
with the Phase Boots Bracer. Pretty good.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, what's the build on Omni Knight? Let's see. He's going for Echo Saber, I believe.
Echo Saber
Into
Orchid right now.
Orchid.
I mean, this is the core way of playing Omni, where you get up close and personal and do some serious damage. But just to reiterate, he's not. Oh, hang on. Won't have time for that just
A
yet.
fight for the rune, but it is not there. It is top. And Kiyotaka will use all his mana to get it, but he's going to be greeted by Kiritich, who grabs it for himself. X
Yikes.
back into the LSA, or I should say the Laguna Blade from GPK. They're going to get a second on top of that. GPK with a double kill. Panto, X. This should be a third kill. Torrent keeps him in place. Save gets credit for that, and they can likely just get the tier 1 on top of it.
They lost 3 heroes in a tower because they really wanted a rune.
Yep.
That's I'm gonna say that is an unworth for me.
Well, I would also like to throw it out there that these two teams know each other really well.
Yeah.
And if you know Kiyotaka, you know he's going to really be greedy for things like that, right?
He wants the runes very bad. I mean, there's also a mental aspect of this. I think earlier we saw him...
I have to interrupt.
Okay, excuse me?
He has a dormant Curio on the Storm Spirit. Let's see how long he keeps it, shall we? As the Enigma caught off guard and deleted by save. So are there any other... Oh, there's a bunch of them! So Kiyotaka, along with Mira, have it, and Kiritich.
Yeah.
And of course, we should mention Miero has Chipped Vest, which the passive is called Chipper.
Yeah.
I hope Shiver actually checked that off the list because I got one right. Chipper was added to the game.
Yeah. They had a different name planned for it, but then they chose this one after you made your prediction.
Wait, what was the name before?
I don't think it was Chipper. I don't remember, though.
I wonder if is there a way for us to even know? Somebody tweet at us, except don't use Twitter. Use something else.
Chip Vest is kind of an interesting choice in general, especially in heroes that buy Blade Mail. It actually increases your farming rate in the jungle quite a while.
PK. Laguna Blade goes off, and they get the connection they need. BetBoom with a great counteract onto Kiyotaka. Boots of travel. Not working out there. So
he's going BKB next, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Tired of getting stunned.
So no nullifier.
Understandable. Not yet.
This is more acceptable, I think.
Yep.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I don't think things are looking quite good here for BetBoom, to be sure. Especially GPK, I would say, is having a great game on his Lina. He's 4-2-3. Approaching this BKB timing that makes this hero so much better. You're going to have BKB and Repel to work with.
Yeah.
Kunkka, one of the carries that doesn't necessarily really need Repel very much, so you can reserve it for your mid hero more so than the carry. Wow, this is a very late wisdom for Panto. Steals this min at 1640. They just never went there.
A nice little treat. I mean, speaking of Panto, we can discuss his neutral item as well. The Sister's Shroud. Sounds like something from the Dune show. Great show, by the way. Highly recommend.
Oh, no.
As save. Well, he's going to dodge out the ice path. I'm going to turn this around onto poor Panto. Will shatter. Take that to Omi.
You talked about Kiyotaka being greedy. He went there and dropped one liquid fire into TP out. He really wanted that tower damage, and he died for it.
Yep. Well, we'll see if it's worth it in the end.
I looked at the Sister's Shroud. Well, that's hard to say.
It replaces the... I forget the name now. The dodge item. Neutral.
Gossamer Cape.
Yep, there you go.
It's a bit different because Gossamer Cape was guaranteed evasion on the first hit, and then it would go on cooldown, get ready again. Sister Shroud doesn't get refreshed until you kill someone or die, right?
Yep.
But you block the first 2 hits guaranteed instead.
Okay.
I mean, I think the Sister Shroud item is really good on supports. You enter a fight, you haven't been fighting so far, and the first 2 or 3 attacks against you are going to miss. It's pretty strong. And then, sure, if that's it, and then the next fight you haven't got a kill or a death, it won't work, but you're going to die a decent amount as a support in minigames, so it's actually quite nice.
It's an interesting one.
I think
I wonder how easy it
is
is for the enemies to know what status it's at right now, right?
That's part of it, too. You don't really know for a fact.
I don't see any... Well, I guess he got rid of it, so...
And he changed it for Searing Signet.
Oh, Dunka in a lot of trouble. We'll get AA blasted. The boat's going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but 5 members of Aurora here to get the kill. Mira a little bit too late to the party. Looks like they want to fight, though. Toronto, Tokyo. Oh, he actually used Black Hole. Died instantly. That is unfortunate. As a big shackle into the LSA. He finally leveled, but the snowball save. Does he have the mana? He does, to get a good amount of distance away onto the high ground.
He doesn't have TP ready.
8 seconds on the TP. Do they think he's out already? Yes, they do.
Choosing a great spot to hide here, taking advantage of his observer.
Ends up being a 3-for-1 in favor of BetBoom. That's despite losing the Kunkka first.
Yep.
But yeah, the Black Hole being down, pretty big deal as well.
It was a very good Ice Blast. He gets it in on the... Actually, yeah, he had Enigma and the Tusk, and then the reinforcements arrive. Toronto, Tokyo already half health when the fight breaks out. That is the shortest Black Hole of all time.
Yep, I think it's up there in contention.
This is a crazy good save from Mira, by the way. He has to more or less max range snowball pick him up. If he tries to go a little bit closer to make sure he reaches, then he's dead.
Yep.
That was within...
BetBoom will take advantage of this fact that there's no Black Hole and go for good old Roche. And the Aegis onto GPK.
We'll take care of bottom, get X marked back. That in itself is communicating some intent to Aurora. If GPK is X marked, that would seem like they're planning a move, whether that is for an objective or for a fight.
Yep.
And the Tormentor seems to be where it's at.
Oh yeah, it spawns at 20 minutes now, so that's another big change with the patch. A little bit surprised they didn't change location, or at least tweak it in some regard. But this will be a freebie for BetBoom. So they get Aegis and the Tormy, Kataomi with the Shard, which is quite a good one. The Ice Blast stunning.
They have a lot of nice setups for Ice Blast, right? They have Shackle Shot, X Mark, Atos on the Wind Ranger. So it's a pretty reliable follow-up stun in this game. The Ice Blast should be hitting the majority of the time.
Okay, there's no Dormant Curios anymore, by the way. So I guess some of these...
Tier 2 is Kiritich is in trouble.
Oh, interesting.
But he could TP out, I guess. He's sticking around.
Well, GPK gets spotted, but Kanto's the one that pays the ultimate price. So if you highlight the neutrals that are buffed, it has an unleashed icon and saying it's 30% artifact potency. So for Kiyotaka, for example, you're getting extra damage from the Searing Signet.
Yep.
So I guess we're not going to see the Obscurio until late game soon.
But then if he takes Searing Signet again...
That's a lot of damage, but the reinforcements are coming. They've already lost their Omni Knight. The LSA onto 2 heroes. Mira getting super low. Will be the first to fall, and Nightfall on the run. You see the other side of the trees. Torrent is going to hit along with the Shackle. Enough damage for BetBoom. Kiyotaka and company, despite having the Arcane Rune, are going to have to retreat. So another instance where a core for BetBoom die, but BetBoom comes back and gets 3 kills on top of it.
Radiant's bottom tower.
One thing that Omni Knight has always been, I mean, he's like decently tanky, and if he gets some sort of spells off, he can get a counterplay. That time didn't really manage to get anything defensive off before his death, but didn't matter. The reinforcements arrived just in time, and some great spell casting once again. GPK really Going to work this game now. 8, 2, and 6 on the Lina, hitting seemingly every LSA on the dot. So very nicely done. I was wondering what I was going to say was, let's say the Searing Signet on Kiyotaka, right, that is currently unleashed. If you pick Searing Signet again on tier 3, is it still unleashed? Or does he not get to upgrade it at all?
He doesn't get to upgrade it again, no.
Okay, so if he were to take Searing Signet Mystical
you're
again,
saying if it's the same item
and the same enchantment, or another enchantment.
I would guess no, but I'm not 100%.
Okay, we'll try to keep an eye on that. Maybe I could also read the text. I guess I'll do that for you.
My initial understanding after reading it is it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to double dip, as it were. Kiyotaka showing himself. A blast going to miss here.
This enchantment is tied to the next non-curio artifact you select. It will be saved as long as you keep the upgraded artifact. Selecting a new one will make you lose the unleashed enchantment.
And the artifact is the enchantment is like the stat related stuff.
Yeah.
So if he keeps Searing Signet, then it stays then. Sounds like. Oh, X actually was successful. Kiyotaka has to burn most of his mana. We'll be fine though.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This game definitely has a different feel to it than most games of the tournament so far. Obviously, for us, because we're trying to wrap our heads around a lot of stuff going on as well, but also just the fact that you're playing against heroes you aren't really used to for Aurora, I think, is a little bit... Just some different nuances here. That does not mean that their approach of running previous meta stuff is wrong. We've seen this in plenty of tournaments in the past where a patch comes out and some teams will make quick adjustments, some will make slower. Sometimes the stable stuff just keeps working really well. I have to say, to me, once again, the standout hero of the game has been Lina. And she wasn't buffed that much. I don't really think the Omni Knight has had too much of an impact compared to other stuff Miro could have played.
No.
Unless if specifically Aurora feel like they cannot make certain moves because of Omni Knight's just presence in the game with his ult and repel. But all of the changes to the hero did not matter for that here.
Yeah, GPK, they'll be able to get the trade.
Yep.
Nightfall with the Shadow Blade.
See BetBoom make a lot of use of the pings, actually. It's kind of interesting. On the side of Aurora, I haven't really noticed it much. BetBoom keep pinging different types of pings for like spellcasting locations, or I think he went here, or attack here. It's kind of cool to see that they're immediately playing into the new toys.
Wish there was
on GPK. Oh my gosh,
wish there was a wheel for don't throw.
Yep. Yeah, that would be good for GPK.
That could be an unlock for TI or something.
You cannot Suns fan cast GPK game without mentioning tilt or throw. Challenge level impossible.
Okay, don't tilt is pretty good too, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
So Kiritich on this Kunkka, he has the Radiance, BKB going for the Assault next.
Yep. Unsurprising. Pretty standard stuff.
No, he's got the Blink Orchid. Gonna force out the BKB from Kyo. We're calling him that from now on.
This X is too short.
Still has the zip regardless. High ground. Siege is still alive. There's no fortification either. This is a tower.
It is a tower.
It is no longer a tower. BetBoom, without the Aegis, able to take a pretty significant structure. Big ol' zip, but the creeps actually survive. Macropyre used just to ensure that they die. Nightfall was looking for an opening, but decided against it. He has the Crystallis. We'll be upgrading it to the Brooch. And we'll be going for a Blink on top of the Shadow Blade that he has.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if he just feels the need to assassinate the support, or if he thinks they're going to need it to catch the Omni, but Miero's itemization allows him to play very far back. He's got Blink Orchid, so if he wants to play defensively, he can be like 1500 range behind the fight. And of course, a change in this patch, you can't overshoot your Blink and panic anymore. They removed that part of Dagger. The range penalty no longer exists.
Yep, true.
So
we have a smoke on both sides. Won't know about Roche for another 15 seconds. Mira looking to be the one to open things up for Aurora. Oh, they're again
Dire's
deciding
top tower
against
is
it.
under attack.
As BetBoom, they make their aggressive play now.
GPK with a gem. Leading the
They're
chart.
waiting on the high ground. Mira gonna pop the smoke as Toronto Tokyo would be the big kill. Shackle hits. Laguna. Ice Blast. Goodbye. No Enigma. 50 seconds. And BetBoom feels like they've been getting better of
Dire's top tower
pretty
is
much
under
every
attack.
engagement so far.
Yeah. When's the last time it feels like Aurora took initiative?
It's been a while. Panto gonna get hit by the ship and will eventually be brought down to his knees. I think dragons have knees, perhaps?
Well, I'll let you have it.
Okay. Ask ChatGPT that one, actually.
Are dragons wyverns? Are wyverns dragons? And of course, the most important question: do dragons have knees?
Yep.
Yeah. X mark onto Toronto's Black Dragon. Speaking of dragons.
Yep. The zip in. A blast is coming. Nightfall gets the last hit on Miero. Okay, this might be the first time that they've killed a core without losing 3 heroes afterwards.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, we're going to see a new neutral on Panto, the Jiddy Pollen Bag.
I don't know what GD is.
I don't know either. But basically health reduction, right? So against the Omni Knight, for example.
And then it does 12% of their max health over 12 seconds. So 1% max health damage per second. And reduces their health.
I mean, that is an insane blink cancel.
Yeah, if it works for that,
12 seconds?
that's kind of crazy if it works against Blink. I think that would
Why
be
wouldn't
changed
it?
if it does. If the damage type is HP loss, right, then it doesn't cancel Blink. Is that how it is?
No.
There's some things that don't cancel Dagger, right? Or are they all gone?
There might be like one in the game, and it's not HP loss.
Oh yeah, there is one in the
different
game.
name
It's
for it?
called GD Pollen Bag. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really good.
thank you. You really thought I was going to come up with a serious
Yeah,
answer.
you
how I
fooled
get
me.
That's how I get you.
You fooled me real
If you
good.
say stuff with enough confidence, people are going to believe you.
Oh, I make an entire career out of that,
Yeah.
so I know. How big of a difference do you think this Tormentor being 20 versus 15 makes?
It definitely slows games down a little bit in terms of the winning team accelerating.
Ice Path onto 2 heroes. Black Hole to follow. That's on 2 cores as well. A-Blast to try to counteract this, but GPK is already dead. Actually trying the Nightfall away on the Kunkka. He's going to get away, but still, they lose Miero. That's 2 dead, 2 cores for 1 support. Well, 2 supports, I guess, as buyback came out eventually for Panto.
It's actually such a surprisingly weak result from Aurora to only get 2 kills out of that. 2 for 1. I mean, it's 2 cores. Of course, it's great, but that looked like it could be a total disaster.
Yeah, that was an insane Ice Path, setting everything up
Yeah.
on the staircase.
Great Ice Path. They get a 2-man Black Hole with Midnight Pulse, and those are the only 2 heroes that end up dying, so BetBoom kind of cut their losses and get out. It's
Yeah,
it is,
like-
of course, huge to get these 2 kills, make no mistake, but this late in the game, those types of Black Holes oftentimes lead to a team wipe or some sort of objective at the very least. But Roshan unclaimed, Tormentor also unclaimed for Aurora, so they just got the 2 kills and that's it.
Radiant are scared.
And for the Blink Dagger change, does that have any impact on pro play? Other than for crit?
It's a niche reference, I like it. Well,
Because this is something that we've been wanting for a long time, because it's like a hidden mechanic almost.
Yeah, it's archaic. It's just, how to say, so when you had range finder on your Blink, whenever you click it, you could see what the max range was. The main impact it's going to have on pro play is that you can just be faster, right? You can just instantly, if you want to get out or want to go in, you can just blink as far as you want.
Yeah.
So that's the main impact it's going to have, is just smoothness, but obviously at this level of play, people weren't like consistently
Roshan
messing up.
has roared. He is being attacked by the Dire.
He's dead.
In case you don't play with sound, GPK gets the Aegis.
So understandable. In case you guys are watching without sound,
True.
then
Well, then you can't hear what you're saying.
that's right. That was the joke. That's why I didn't follow up the sentence.
You know, people that aren't listening to us can't hear what we're saying.
Dire's top tower is
Yes,
under attack.
that was once again the joke. I don't want to talk. All right, maybe my delivery was bad. Who knows? The joke was
really
definitely
good.
good. It was not the quality of the joke.
You're really good at your job.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, a very even game despite the score not being so much in that department. Aegis, though, picked up by GPK, so they'll have a little bit of a extra leg up, you would think, in the coming minutes. But, I mean, that's a pretty big power spike. Silver Edge and Bloodthorn for Aurora. As Kiyotaka gets on top of Miero, that's another death for him. No way to dispel while silenced for him at the moment. And safe. It's going to get stunned as GPK doing a ton of damage on the backline too. Panto does take him out in the end. LSA onto 2, but the BKB TPs. X actually did connect. Nightfall's BKB ended too early. Big kill for BetBoom. Kiyotaka was not there, of course, because of the solo kill onto Miero.
No Nightfall for Nightfall, but a Nightfall for Mira.
Yeah.
He actually has BKB Blink on the Tusk. It's not that common to see this 30 minutes in. It's having a...
Dire's bottom tower
pretty
is
rich.
under attack.
Yeah, like you said, Kiyotaka just going to work, but Storm not the best hero at accomplishing this split push goal. But he's not showing any signs of stopping. And this is in spite of not having BKB ready. He was just confident that they weren't TPing back and finding an angle onto him. They were going to make their own push play, and he would be right.
Yeah, they're going to continue here. They have Roche's banner ready to go as Kiritich taking a ton of damage, forced out the BKB. The Laguna, I should say, onto Mira. X back into the arms of Kiritich and company. Kiritich does have to be a bit careful. He's not the one with the Aegis. Roche banner placed. No Nightfall for 20 seconds. Let's see how much more damage they can do here. Fortification expended already on the Aurora side. The tower goes down at the very least. Can they get the melee? It'll be a little bit more difficult. Nightfall in 8 seconds. They don't have Tusk for 30, though, so either way, this is a 4v5, not including the Aegis. So it will be a clean push for GPK and company. One lane. And this
he's
tower...
gonna continue.
Yeah, why not? Range racks down.
So long attack range. He's got Hurricane Pike and a vast rated Shiv. This Lina's attack range is 930 right now.
Yeah, they're going to have to try to defend this. There's the Orchid from Kiyotaka. Miero gets off the repel, though. Nightfall trying to delete Miero. In the meantime, gets a nice knockback onto 2. Toronto Tokyo with the black hole onto both cores. That is the Aegis, though, onto GPK. He's not going to use it quite yet because he's still very healthy. They cannot take down this Lina at all. Buyback onto the Enigma, though, as GPK continue to right-click away. Ice Path onto 2 on the sideline, though. I think GPK can still finish off this barracks if he wants. Aegis finally down, expires in mid-air. And Kiritich and company surely want to finish off this barracks. Maybe they could get more kills, but the Ice Path's going to be reserved for GPK. They do get the second lane. It's going to cost them GPK's life. Double kill for Kiyotaka. Kiritich looks to be next on the list, so relatively heavy price for BetBoom, but they still get 2 full lanes.
They get 2 full lanes and an Enigma buyback, so I think that overall that's well worth it. You want to use this Aegis, you know you're going to get black holed, but yeah, they were able to just carry through afterwards. The Lina is super tanky and very strong. As long as you don't 100 to 0 her, she gets the Satanic off, she stabilizes. It was a very heads-up play from Aurora to begin with, by the way, baiting out the Omni Knight to show with the repel and then instantly tossing him back into a black hole. Couldn't really have executed that much better as far as I'm concerned with those 2 heroes, the Tiny and the Enigma together. That was good stuff, but yeah, the advantage of the Aegis, just a really big deal there for BetBoom. Tiny will be on the hunt here. He manages to take the tier 2, and they do have Boots of Travel level 2 here on Kiyotaka, so they're using him as a connection point.
Yep, and they're going to find it a lowly AA. BetBoom have to be careful.
Yeah, and I think the goal now for Aurora is you're 2 racks down, just stay out on the map. Don't let BetBoom get you back into your base. You're going to get at least 1 lane here yourselves with Tiny. The Storm is actually pushing surprisingly hard. He's level 25 now on Kiyotaka as well, so Overload attack bounce unlocked. Got so much experience from some of these kills.
All right, they get their own lane. Most of the members of BetBoom will be up in a few seconds. This is going to be without AA, but of course Aurora do not know that he does not have buyback. Well, actually, yeah, they do. It's on timer. But they're still going to play it safe. And it's important to note that this lane that they got is one that they still have their own barracks for. So
yeah, this is an interesting dynamic. We don't see this very often.
Very uncommon.
One team has lost 2 lanes, and the 3rd lane is lost by the other team. I wonder what the optimal approach is now to playing the map. Like, if you were to choose for both teams, if because mid is the connection point between the 2 lost respective side lanes for either team, if that becomes the most important lane to push out. But once again, well, there's a clear Radiant advantage here with that lane, or excuse me, dire advantage with that lane being taken already. But distributing resources is kind of interesting in this stage of the game, and I will give Aurora the edge primarily because Storm has travels too. It's actually super valuable right now because it means he can push out whichever lane they need, and he will be in the fight within a matter of 2 seconds. He's just going to connect onto Tiny. He finds a jump, they find a black hole, whatever it is, he'll be there. And the counterpart on the Dire, Lina only has boost of travel level 1. So connection points will be harder to come by for him. There is an amp damage rune here if anybody were to find that. Lina still has the bottle in the backpack. Be a massive grab for GPK heading into the next fight.
Yeah, both teams farming up a bit to be able to get these tier 4 neutrals, and I wonder if we're going to see any of the new ones come out.
Yep, GPK has one ready. Hasn't chosen yet. Now he has. Chose the tough serrated Shiv.
So no change, other than the stats.
Knockback resistance. That's new,
yeah,
right?
That is new, yeah.
It's an interesting mechanic. Like, I don't know.
I mean, what is considered a knockback? Like a 4-staff? Things like.
What's a knockback? Headshot, concussive grenade.
What items, though? Because those are the most consistent.
Items that knock back.
Like 4-staff isn't considered a knockback, I don't think.
I don't remember. They changed this like terminology, right? Of what is considered what.
Okay, Kiritich took Outworld Staff, which I was reading. I'm like, who would ever take this? And we're going to see it in the first game, so obviously I'm a moron. 0.7 seconds of invulnerability. It costs you 5% max HP to use. It's like a baby Astral that costs you HP. 30-second cooldown. We'll see if he can make it work. Nightfall. Oh, he spotted. Oh, gets the blink off in time. Big zip from Kiyotaki as the Aghanim Scepter Electric Vortex onto 2 with the Avalanche to follow, but GPK does get off his BKB in time. Nightfall dies before the black hole comes off. Only onto 1, but GPK is taking quite a heavy bit of damage. A second black hole reserved just for him. They will eventually take out that pesky Lina, but on the sideline, Kiyotaka died as well. So a 2 for 2 as BetBoom buys back on both members that dropped. Mira's BKB is forced out. And with this, I mean, this is, feels like they need to get the Mega Creeps here with these buybacks. They're going to find a straggling Jakiro as well. No buyback for him, so Kiyotaka does have his will expended, but Nightfall.
He has to kill the wave here, but it's a siege wave.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, this is at least Megas. The question is if they can end the game, but this being a siege wave is super important for BetBoom. If that was a normal creep wave, the backdoor protection would start kicking in now, but no concerns about that whatsoever. They still have plenty of time with that wave.
They're going for throne now.
And they'll even keep their siege creep alive. They didn't manage to kill it, so the backdoor will not kick in at all until somebody deals with this one siege creep.
Oh, they actually find the connection onto Kiyotaka, and that should end the game. 2 minutes of no Storm Spirit. GG comes out. GPK super tilted and happy at the same time for this game #1 victory for BetBoom.
He popped off. He's the MVP of this game today, for sure. Proud of myself.
Good job, Cinderin. You're so good at listening.
I remember the good old pop bangers from my childhood. Back in ye olde days of the 2000s.
Yes.
Some of these players were not even born then. Back in the early 2000s.
Very accurate.
It does put things into perspective. You know what? Miro just woke up today and he was like, I'm tired of my good old job. I want to do new stuff. And he's playing offlane Undying. He just wants to bring new stuff to the table. This is not the first time we ever see this, obviously. There's basically no novel ideas left in Dota. At this point, every hero has been tried in every position, more or less. The offlane Undying, though, I'm curious to see how this is going to work out. Curious to see if Toronto2 can get out of this trouble. Probably not if they skill Shackle.
Shackle is there. Only question is who gets the kill. It will be GPK. First blood.
Not one to skill Skewer. I think he might have lived, but yes, it's really important to show up to lane with Shockwave.
Yes.
Sometimes it's better to die than skill the wrong spell,
Yes,
to be honest.
I don't know how many times you've said that this tournament, but
That's not the same thing as...
It's
not
close
that
enough.
It's not the same.
close enough. Cinderin. As Kataomi and Kiritich into the water they go. And Mira. So, I do want to mention one thing. I'm going to be very transparent here. I consider myself to be a very unbiased caster in general.
Okay. Well, you biased against heroes, not
This
teams.
game, I will be rooting for BetBoom because I want Terrorblade to have a dog shit win rate. I would just like there to be a 2-month period where this hero is just forgotten. Is that possible to happen? That is what I wish for. I should have put that on the list for Sheever.
Remove Terrorblade from Dota.
Yeah, just for a couple months.
Remove
Every
Terrorblade from...
game, man.
So, would you like to have like a rotating pool of heroes that are removed from the game? So, like every month, there's like 10 heroes that just don't exist.
Yeah, it's like Underlords.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. What was it called in Underlords again?
The Jail.
It was called the Jail.
Or Jailbreak or Jail something, yeah.
Yeah. Straight to jail, Terrorblade goes. I believe he actually broke out of some sort of astral prison, right? In the lore.
You're going to have to ask Slacks that question. There's another here I do want to discuss, but he's getting gone on right now. Panto pops the Fairy Fire on the Chen, will die to save. And they're going to get some good damage on a Nightfall as he retreats as well. But yeah, this Chen pick, talk to me about it.
I'm not sure. I mean, it got a little bit better in lane. The panel was covering this with some more damage and whatnot. I think there's some potential in the Ags, but you need to get there. You need to get rich. It reminds me of... oh, hang on.
Toronto, Tokyo dead
Toronto
again. This is a rough start for him.
Did you ever play Warcraft 3? Like,
yes.
Regular Warcraft 3? With the...
I mean, yeah, but I don't think I finished the campaign. But yeah,
Okay.
I played it.
Do you remember there was a hero called the Shadow Hunter?
No.
Okay, it's an orc hero. He has an ulti called Big Bad Voodoo, where he makes everything around him invulnerable except himself.
I'm looking up. Oh, yeah, I actually recognize him.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Witch Doctor became?
This is the model Rasta uses.
Yeah.
That's not Witch Doctor. Rasta is a different hero.
Wait, I said Witch Doctor.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Yeah, they're close to the same.
We get things wrong sometimes, some more than others, but it's fine. It just reminds me of that. It's like you are channeling and making your team incredibly powerful, but you're vulnerable. We'll see if he
Stone
gets
place. Nightfall. Taking some licks of damage. He's in trouble. Into the trees he goes. Miero. Decays will continue. Gets it off. Gets the kill. And, well, save might be the trade, although his innate coming in handy there actually does survive. And so the safe lane and the off lane for Aurora, kind of disastrous, which leads us to look into the mid lane, where GPK is 13-5 right now, and Kiyotaka just a little bit ahead. I say that as they trade a bit, 13-7. So basically a wash in the mid lane. It's the only lane that's not a disaster for Aurora right now. Now the Soul Ring online for Miero, so he is going to... So, I mean, let's talk about the Undying before we get to Chen, because everybody's, I know, waiting with bated breath on that one. Why core here? I mean, I love seeing a core, don't get me wrong. But it was something open in the draft where you're like, actually, this looks better than usual.
Do you mean the Undying?
Yes. What did I say?
No, I think you said Chen.
No, I said we'll get to the Chen later.
Oh.
What? A lot of aneurysms today, it seems.
You're just saying too many words. I can't focus. Oh, save, hang on. See if Save can get out of trouble here.
Oh, they're going to go on top of him despite being in meta right now. Miero very confident. Fairy Fire popped by Save, and another death to Nightfall's name. Mira drops on the other side as well. Whoo, doggy.
They are getting crushed. I don't think there's anything else to say. These side lanes are a total travesty, especially top.
And the courier dies on top of it. It had a stick and a tango on it. My goodness, Save. Getting blocked. Nice micro from Panto. Will eventually lead to the kill. Chen will take it.
Finally, Aurora gets something back the other way, but yeah, what prompted this Undying to go core? I don't know. Like I was saying, I think Miero woke up today and was like, these are a couple of heroes I want to play today. And then they looked at the matchups. I think Undying against Terrorblade in lane is actually really interesting as a core-to-core matchup because Decay just gets his health so low. He has very little strength to begin with. You cut off whatever is left and Shaman can kind of kill him with you.
Undying had very small patch notes. Base damage increased slightly by 2 as GPK. Being blocked by Kiyotaka. Again, this lane pretty close on both sides. Soul Rip damage heal per unit was increased for the later levels, but again, just very slight changes. As Mirat caught off guard. X marks Torrent with the whip to follow. Nice blocks. Fairy Fire Force gets off the wind run just in time. They're actually going to chase this?
No.
Okay.
Oh, whoa. All right, he dropped the blood grenade in defense. It missed. And then he almost died to a dart if that would have hit.
If only you could kill yourself with your own blood grenade.
Yeah. Do you think self-denying was bad for the game?
I didn't mind it personally. I know
me neither.
It tilted some people, but I loved it. I loved it on Centaur. I don't even know if that was in Dota 2. It might have just been Dota 1. Save.
Shortest shackle ever?
Yep, but it does ensure that GPK gets the illusion rune. Not the best, but refills the bottle, so can't complain. Yeah, the rot deny. As that looks hilarious. Skewer Torrent simultaneously going off. But Toronto Tokyo trying to get back into this game, Cinder, and it's a rough one so far.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, let's not get too carried away here.
It's a rough one for him.
It's 6-1, but it's not like the lanes of Aurora have nothing going for them. They can still recover this. You're down about 1,000 gold in total across 3 lanes, but well, it might be a bit more now. Save again with Miero, Tombstone.
Yep. Full duration shackle again as the Nightfall might be able to get one here. The X brought Mira back, I believe. He was actually TPing to help his team out. Nightfall getting pretty close. Miero gets the better of it again. Gets his ult off of that kill as well, and now he can go on top of Panto. There's going to be some TP coming in from Kiyotaka. Will be able to get the Ava toss to finish the job. And he instantly comes back to life thanks to his innate, but man, oh man. He's having himself a game right here.
Yeah, Miero's bossing it up. I love seeing whenever there's a new patch day like this and certain players just gravitate way more toward new stuff than others, and Miero just happy to play something else. And he's playing a beastly lane so far. Seems to very much understand the limitations of his hero, like when he can commit for the kills, when he needs to back off. In that instance, levels up his ult and actually gets the Panto. With the rotation from Tiny coming in, sure, it ended up costing your life, but that was you forcing the enemy mid to TP to kill you after your team already lost the fight. So like,
man, this is going to be really devastating for Nightfall if they can pull this off on the BetBoom side.
Seems to have a good read of it, though.
Yeah, he does.
Toronto is communicating this. He's pushing the wave all the way into the bot tower, and nobody's showing, so this is pretty telegraphed that there was a top move planned here from BetBoom. And
Radiant's bottom tower
yeah, this is effectively just going to turn into a little bit of a waste of time on their side. Toss back, GPK into Windranger. Can't really combo this very well. They don't even have Shackle Shot.
Oh, gets a nice courier kill. We'll be able to get his Rolling Thunder off either way, though, as another member of Aurora shows up, so forces that out, but he's not going to be too bothered by it. So yeah, this Chen, the Aghanim Scepter you were talking about, it just sounds so weird. I can't wrap my head around this actually being a thing, and I understand this is a hero that can get a lot of farm for support, but this is channeling. It feels like one of those instances where your team is ahead a lot, they're going high ground, and you're like a mini Roche banner. You put yourself in a safe position, and if they try to go for you, then they put themselves in bed. Like, other than that, I just can't see this being a thing, but I would love to be wrong because it sounds interesting.
I think it's just one of those where it gives Chen a different way of scaling in long games. Instead of only really having one build path where you focus on getting auras for your team, now you can play more of you can almost transition into, I don't know what you would call this, like a protective core almost, where you BKB yourself and then you BKB your entire team. I know I'm talking about it a lot, and it's probably not going to happen this game because Panto, you need to get really rich for this to make sense. But if this goes to the stretch, I would love to see it. And you know, it's one of the more fundamental changes to the way certain abilities work of the patch. That acts as just a total rework, and it's a conceptually completely new thing that we've never had.
Yeah.
Think of it as AoE repel, I guess.
A better version of Omni Knight, huh? Yeah. That's what you're telling me. Or Omni Knight repels Chen, and then he can cast it.
There you go.
Hype combo. Ultra heals. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Looks like he'll be finishing up drums first, and then, of course, straight into Ags, I'm sure.
Yeah, the tricky part is if you don't have protection for yourself, how good is the Ags ever going to be? Like, is it just mandatory BKB first to even make it feasible, or not sure. Maybe we'll never see it. Maybe nobody's ever going to buy this. I hope we get to see it at least once.
I feel like somebody always buys it just to try. But like you said, they do have to be rich. So
yeah,
that is the caveat.
Chen, one of the better supports at getting net worth though. So
GPK drains a lot of mana from Kiyotaka, so it doesn't have a whole lot to work with. And the Hex coming out from Save as well into the Shackle. They have the damage. Hand of Gaben to keep him alive. Kiyotaka super low, gets diffuseled, inhibited, I should say, and eventually drops. Wheel of Wonder, a little bit of a miss there. GPK's got haste, though. Doesn't mind trying for this. Drains all of Mira's mana as well, and the knife will assist in this, and they're going to put the snakes down to try to take out the Tier 1 tower as well. So BetBoom feels like they're on top of everything today. They ate their Wheaties, as the saying goes, Synderen. I'm sure there's a different one in Denmark, though.
Yeah, in Denmark we say they ate their breakfast up the hizzy.
That's pretty hype, actually.
Yeah.
That's probably where I got the saying from.
Yeah, I've been saying that all the time off camera. Finally spread to you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Can't really put much of a finger on BetBoom's play so far today, absolutely. Coming with some fresh angles, and a lot of the time when you try something really different, like this game offlane Undying, the previous game offlane Omni, a lot of the time when you do that for the first time, like, it might not go very well. It's pretty polarizing results you often get. Ironically, last game was polarizing in two ways, because it didn't feel like the offlane Omni did that much from our perspective. So it wasn't that successful in the lane, but it still won the game. And Aurora Bandit first phase. So their read on the situation was definitely that the Omni Knight was a problem. Mira beating the crap out of Nightfall here. Yep. Will get sundered. He's just going to
continue, but he's going to try to go through the gate. Oh, did he cancel on his own?
Huh?
Wait, what? What just... Oh, he did.
XD.
Oh my god, he's used to the BKB TP Nightfall special. The timing is different through the gate.
I mean, he was dead regardless. The entirety of BetBoom were waiting behind
Still, Synderen, still. Why do you have to ruin every moment? Wheel of Wonder.
My bad.
Onto the Magnus. Nice shackle onto 2 from Mira, but they clean up 1. That's 2 cores dead. Kiyotaka is spotted. That'll be the trifecta. BetBoom dominating right now.
All the cores are down. Time to hit the tower a bit, perhaps. I don't know, that's just something funny about watching a hero run a Terrorblade and bully him out.
I know, it's refreshing. Very refreshing,
yeah.
Thank you.
Just pop your ult, you run at him, you start smashing him with your Flesh Golem, and he tries to go through the gate, and he's like, wait, if I go through the gate, the enemy team is there. You stay, and you still die.
Yeah, Radiant's online for Kiritich now. The 14-minute Wisdoms are coming. Will be a trade, though, as Kataomi is forced out completely. Gets off the whoopee cushion. RP onto 2. A nice connection from Prontotoki. The whip actually prevents the skewer from being full duration. And they're just going to walk away because this tombstone is so much to deal with.
What an amazing Tame the Beast from Kataomi. Really, really nice.
Does that put this push to an end completely? They use Hand of God as well. Tier 1 tower super healthy. and Aurora just have to hightail away.
I don't really think you can go for much more here. We're going to see the replay, so Kataomi with great anticipation here, or rather just good reactions. That is...
Yeah, that's nice.
Really nice. I think they both die if that skewer goes off, because he was pushing them another 500 range to the right.
Toronto, Tokyo, Wheel of Wonder going to prevent any usage of them abilities.
It's very quick to drink water,
When did
though.
GPK die? What happened there?
Yeah, good question. He got killed by Kiyotaka.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. It looks like he just died in the mid lane. I guess he just got comboed by Blink Tiny with Amplify Damage Rune. Maybe didn't anticipate the amp damage. That's probably what it was.
Radiant
Just caught him off.
scanning.
Unknowingly.
All right, GPK doing his best to make sure this is a close game. Snowball was at the ready for BetBoom Cinderent as Roche makes his way to the other side. Remember, 5 more minutes until the Tormentor spawns.
Yep.
Does change the way the game is played by quite a bit, because usually it's that fight near that tier 1 bot, or at least posturing. And maybe this is actually an interesting thought. When generally, time frame, when is first Roche taken, would you say? Roughly. 21?
Yeah, something around 20, I guess.
That's when the Tormentor spawns now.
Yeah.
I think that is purposeful. That's quite interesting. I mean, the whole idea behind them, we talked about this when it first came out, and the way that they're set up now is it's supposed to be, in theory, a choice. Do I want Tormentor or Roche? Because if you go for one, the other one becomes susceptible to be taken by the enemy team. Now, since Roches are taking around 20 minutes, it's, you know, it's actually a choice as opposed to before.
Yeah, before it generally was a choice for like a little bit more lineup specific. We did see teams trading off Roche for Tormentor at minute 15, but you needed to have the right lineup for it more so than not. At 20 minutes, it's a lot easier for certain lineups to get there because the carry has one more item. The other thing is the Tormentor will spawn on the top.
Yep.
Which I don't know which team that necessarily favors more than before. Because Radiant and Dire were both definitely eager to contest the bottom one, and like you said, the dynamic is a lot around taking that bot tier 1 tower for the Dire to access it and contest it. On the top one, it feels like it's a little... Let me see the approach angles. I don't know why. Would you agree that it feels less instrumental for Radiant to take the Dire tier 1 to take the top Tormentor than it was for the Dire to take the bottom one? Do you know what I mean? If you like look at the layout of the area, the way in which you connect from that tower just feels...
Yeah, I would agree.
A little bit trickier for Dire.
Yeah.
Well, we did have a good couple of months where maybe Radiant was not 66% win rate, so we got to get them back up there, of course. In pro matches, I believe the win rate is pretty close, but notoriously Radiant has had a higher win rate in pub games since forever. The main theory is camera angle, and you're trying to like combat it with giving Dire some advantages, but...
Yeah. Well, boat used, so Kiritich can walk away, but Mira's going to greet him with a focus fire into running away.
Into dying.
Into the X.
No. Save was not
to
made.
nothing.
Thought Save was going to make it over, but not
Miro's
quite.
build, by the way, love it. So Crimson Guard Drums has Chipper in his neutral inventory. Very important to point that out. Going for Blade Mail and then Ags. Oh, man. Yeah. That is a beast build. Well, looks like the Roche will be early this time. 18-minute for BetBoom.
Yeah, Undying is one of the best heroes in the entire game at this.
Especially with this facet.
Yeah. Flash Golem, you get the constant influx of zombies, so nobody needs to really tank Roche. I don't know if you ever saw this content piece, but the teams in a different tournament were able to, or were challenged with killing Roche as fast as possible with 5 heroes. And Undying was one of the classic picks for that as the tank, essentially, from the Tombstone. Then other heroes could just hit him with no repercussions through the entire tomb duration. It's pretty interesting to see how they were trying to be creative. Some teams were great at it.
That's the level 1 Roche you're talking about?
Yeah.
GPK finds Panto. Swashbuckle Shield Crash Save is here as well. Attempting the TP out. Actually, nice Shackle is going to force the GPK ult to cancel the TP. Chen will eventually drop to Miero's casual right click. And Mira next on the list. Well, Swash misses, but it matters not.
Oh, he placed the ward before he died.
How is it only a 1K lead? 17-4. kills.
Well,
Is there a bug in this patch? What the hell?
Chen has been farming some. He's got drums, solar crest. He's 1,000 ahead of the shaman.
What's the Dota? I want to see what the graph says. I know we don't usually look at it in 19 minutes, but 70-30 still. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Aurora have been, while losing, they've still been finding farm on their cores. Like, they have good CS on both the Terrorblade and on the Tiny, so it's not really that surprising that they're keeping somewhat up. You know, the Tiny is ahead by about 40 CS against the Pango. Terrorblade's ahead by about 15 to 20 against the Kunkka. And a lot of these early kills, they don't necessarily give that much gold. Like, a lot of the kills that BetBoom got were in the first 10 minutes. So as long as you can come back and get CS, not that monumental necessarily. The bigger thing here is 1K lead might not sound like that much, but if you look at the way in which the lineups interact...
GPK again gets taken out with his team not really that close to him. And that's going to essentially delete a little bit of time from the Aegis timer.
Oh, power
that's
shot.
also going to delete the timer entirely. He was tanking the tower a lot. And I'm like, yeah, he has Aegis, I guess. But that kill shot facet for Windrunner is no joke. Having a mini AA on your team effectively.
These power shots are incredible. He doesn't even have vision. He also just stole an Ancient and hit both heroes when they were going to take the outpost. Miro with the reads.
All right, so now that you don't have Aegis, BetBoom, what's the plan here?
You're going to chill a little bit. Get Undying to his Ags. He chose to bypass the Blade Mail. I was going to say that about that build, that I'm not sure Blade Mail is actually worth it here. So I'm happy to see him deviate or change his mind into the faster Ags. I think that's really going to make a big difference if he gets it somewhat soon. That item does have... It proposes a really strong window where Undying has to be focused by Aurora or he's going to take over the fight. The later you get this Axe, the less meaningful it is. Is the 10 strength, or is it 10? It's 8, right? Yeah, it's 8. The 8 strength steal is obviously relative to the tankiness of a hero is way more meaningful if you get it like 20 minutes compared to minute 30 or 35. Tormentor goes the way of Kataomi.
Against Terrorblade.
Not bad to have that spotlight.
Pretty good.
Yeah, we've said that a couple of times, so that means you absolutely have to hate it forever now.
No, I don't hate that. I just hate Terrorblade.
Haste.
You should do voice acting, Cinderin. Really good. You sound like an undead creature from the depths. Only 800 away from the Ags that you were talking about. One of my favorites in the game. It's funny that an Ags can feel so good, be so satisfying. It's all it is stats, you know? Like a lot of these Ags have something like you get an extra ability or something like that. Just extra 8 strength, that feels great. I think part of it is the fact that you get so large on this hero, you know?
Yeah.
That's also some nice dopamine.
And I mean, in any game that you're playing against other players, it's just gonna feel fun to be invincible, right? It's like you're cheating. They put everything into you and it's still not enough. And keep in mind, in his build, it's really important when you're running Ags on Undying that you have a source of armor, because the EHP scales ridiculously on this hero. When you get to a high flat HP, you want to have armor connecting with it to really get that value, and he already has 20 armor through just, is that 5 base plus, I think it had 14 from Crimson Guard plus... What's the other armor? Soul Ring is 10.
Yep, keep doing the math. Really interesting.
Yeah.
The longer this gets, the better it becomes, actually.
Yeah, I know you don't really care about the numbers, which is why you're maybe not as good at this game as some of these players are, because you don't really appreciate the fine little details that these guys do.
I love looking at these numbers. They're so good.
Yeah.
Aurora
you and Purge have nothing in common as people, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally opposite.
Yeah. Can't argue here. 1K lead for Aurora, despite being down 5 to 17. There's the Ags.
That doesn't matter, though, because it's just a number, right? So
yeah,
I don't care about that.
That's true.
Care about whether it looks cool.
Now, I think when the numbers when you get to the third or fourth layer of the number, then it's like, you know, I don't care anymore.
Oh, I see.
The spreadsheet is when it's annoying.
So you care about the kills and deaths, but not the assists.
That's right.
Okay. That's
Just like every other Dota player. Panto spotted out. Inhibit applied. Kiyotaka, he's nearby. GPK is going to have to get the hell out of here. With some damage to the wave. TPs to base.
Don't think Katsuomi makes this.
Nope. Oh, the TP.
He makes that one, though.
All right.
All right. Well, if you can't go through the gate, you can always just go home.
Clear sailing now.
There's something about this series so far, these two games, that just, it feels a little strange. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, it's almost like something is off, but it's just because the players haven't had time to really necessarily figure out the perfect timing windows and the overall crispness of these lineups. Chen.
My goodness.
See you later.
That's a few ults used.
Yeah, why did they use everything?
They used 3 ults for that.
Yeah.
They just really want to get those kills. They see this number, 18-5. They want it to grow.
Oh, Chen almost has Ags.
Are you kidding?
Yes. He's going Greaves, Shannon.
Got me excited.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you think BetBoom know that they're losing net worth right now?
I have no idea.
There's no way, right?
It's an interesting game because down the stretch,
You can tell the spotlight. That was nerfed, right? You can tell it's not
the
doing
damage?
nearly as much damage, yeah.
How much was it nerfed by? 30% from 50, yeah. That's very noticeable, for sure. I don't know. This is one of those games that's kind of hard to predict. Like, on a theoretical level, you would probably favor Aurora late because you have Magnus, who's one of the absolute late-game beasts. You have Tiny and Terribly scaling crazy well. Chen is a great late-game support because he's going to be rich and have a lot of items. And on the other side, Undying has a tendency to fall off later. Kunkka shouldn't really hold a candle to Terrorblade ultra late in terms of just fighting straight up. But I don't know when BetBoom are going to try to like really get ahead here, like pull the trigger.
Arrow pops the smoke. RP is used. It's on one, but the box to save. Nicely done. He gets the skewer off after the fact, though. But Miero is a beast. You're going to focus on Rasta first. You can see Nightfall has to use his BKB. Not going to TP out quite yet. There it is. Toronto, Tokyo will die. That forced. That was a buyback on the save, but they get 2 kills and the Nightfall special that we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, that RP is just not good enough, right? You get the
the
one singular pick, and the guy you open on with RP, you didn't even instantly skewer. He got boxed. You delayed it, and then he didn't even BKB on the Kunkka. He didn't even need to. So he got RP'd and was forced to use nothing. Doesn't really get much worse than that for an initiation. The ideal way for Aurora to start a fight is probably a Blink Tiny Toss back or Blink Skewer back. Of course, if you get a 2 or 3 hero RP, it's a different story. But like this, that's not the recipe for success. The Undying Tombstone comes down, he pops his ult, and he just goes to town, and nobody can stand up to this guy right now. Miero way too strong, and now gonna see an Aegis go the way of side of BetBoom here. Will it be Karatic again? Will he get killed by a kill shot again? So many questions.
So little answers.
A few.
So few answers.
Thank you.
Kiritich with the Aegis. I believe they have a Roche banner as well.
Yeah. Are they going to force the issue? That's the question here. Like, yeah, it's great. You're building this, you know, we can see the gold and it's whatever, but it doesn't tell the full story if some gold is just way more valuable than the rest. Like, Undying's net worth right now is incredibly strong. Even though he is like 1,000 behind the Tiny, I would say his hero is just easily stronger right now. But it's not going to last forever. So how do you force a good fight that allows you to go high ground here if you can't? You don't have like the Chen. You have Serpent Wards, but your pushing hero is a Kunkka with the Aegis. Doesn't really hit the Angel that well. And if you're trying to play the map for farm, well, you're not really pulling ahead, right? So precarious position to be in here, I think, for BetBoom. It's going to be very telling what they do with this Aegis about their read on the game. So 4 minutes left. Kiritich pushes up bottom. His wave is coming. Are they just going to run straight down bottom?
Oh, Toronto Tokyo will look into the Wheel of Wonder with BKB and TP away.
That's something to have forced if you were planning to go high ground, but nah. BetBoom not going to.
Yeah, it is, for their side, a bit unfortunate that their building hitting is non-existent outside the Serpent Wards. Very difficult to capitalize on having a kill lead at this stage. Getting pickoffs usually leads to objectives, which they've been getting Roche at the very least.
They've taken 5 towers, but high ground will continue to elude them. Mira will get spotted by Miro.
Yes, he will, and he'll run into the rest of the team. Kiyotaka to the north, that's a bigger kill. Miero with the blink, trying to force this out.
Oh, he didn't BKB. He's toast.
TP out for the Wind Ranger, but this is a much bigger kill. Kiyotaka takes a tumble. 70 seconds, no buyback.
At the BKB TP at the ready the whole time, but probably wasn't expecting to get jumped and hexed by Shaman. That's a very big find, and they'll get another one.
This would be much bigger. Miero and company have made it on top of Nightfall. The hand of Gaben is not enough. That is 70 seconds of no TB now, and you're on the doorsteps of their base. Mira gets dropped as well. The wave is a bit away here.
This will be a way to open the base. Just find every core outside the base except the Mag, who can't really do anything on his own. And you don't need to go for the high ground push into the enemy team and this fear of the skewer into RP. Doesn't matter. If there's no opponent, you just go and hit it. I mean, it's still going to be really slow. I don't even know if they get a lane here, to be honest. But
yeah, this is
they'll start going to work a little bit.
How far on Serpent Wards?
They have AC.
50
well,
seconds.
They have AC, and Undying has a bit of damage, but here comes the glyph. They have banner and a siege creep.
Yeah, they'll get the tower.
Yeah, the tower for sure, but outside of that, not sure. Well, they're going to continue. They'll continue being placed here by Kiritich. And looks like the lane push will be successful. So they'll get one. Oh, never mind. Maybe not.
Oh, nice hex from Save, preventing the combo coming out from Kiyotaka. Shackle interrupted eventually as Kiritich wants to at least get the melee and run. And oh, he's going to get skewered back. Kiritich in a pretty horrible spot. They do get the melee racks. Crimson Guard applied to him as Nightfall in that meta form. Gonna put the spotlight on top, so his illusion's taking quite a bit of damage. A nice box to save a decent amount of HP for Kiritich. They're actually turn this around with the Wheel of Wonder as well. Kiyotaka dead again. Nightfall in the BKB. Doesn't want to TP, doesn't want to repeat the maneuver he has been using over the years. Gets a thunder, but a big RP onto 3 heroes. Skewer to fall for Toronto Tokyo. That's 3 dead, including the Aegis. Miero completely out of mana. Kiritich had the BKB the whole time, and he will show Nightfall how it's done. Back to base. They'll find a straggler in Kataomi.
Yeah, he tried for the poor man's Nightfall, but Glimmer Cape, not the same as BKB.
True.
And it looked very good for BetBoom until
the range
that
racks
RP.
too.
They do get the full lane. And it looked like a disaster, honestly, when this fight started outside of the base. They put down the Tombstone. The Terrorblade is spending his entire BKB trying to bring down the Tombstone. You're going to see the replay here. So the immediate Hex onto Tiny, very nicely played here. Instant reaction from Save makes Kiyotaka's impact negligible. And yes, you do get the Tombstone down, but look, Nightfall, half health, BKB running out. That was his commitment or his contribution to the fight. With the Thunder plus nice RP, they are able to stabilize the situation. Once again, this game is still even on gold, even though they lost lane to Barracks now.
This game's bugged. There's no way. I'm bugged, man. Really weird. Nightfall. Bloodthorn. Going through the gate. Looks like they're going to get an objective for themselves in the old Tormy.
Yep. Who are you hoping to get here? Probably, he does have Gale Force already, so.
Chen Shard, so can take over Ancient Creeps.
That's very good. Guess the ones you want here. You want Granite Golem. You want, the Black Dragon armor is not the best, but it's also not bad for sure. Actually, it's good. You know, it's Pango and Kunkka with physical damage. I think that's worth it. And you're not level 18 quite yet, so you can only take the 2. What else would you want for your third ancient? Is there any?
Oh, wow. Toronto, Tokyo. Wait, what neutral does he have? I thought he evaded that. I guess he blinked in time? Wow.
There's no mobility-based neutral item anymore, is there? Except spider legs?
No, I meant the item that gives you evasion. I thought he got hit.
Oh, I see.
He evaded the auto attack.
Right.
I think he blinked in time. But yeah, that Serpent Ward's down. That's kind of a big deal.
Oh, Tumblr's toy is still in as well. But they didn't have that either. They do now. Smoke.
Oh, they got a full duration shackle on Kiyotaka. BKB was thinking about TPing. He's getting slowed to a crawl by Miero and company. He's dead.
He's fucked, man. He got Undying.
Yes, he did. Skewer out. They're going to find a support, but Miero is here for moral support. They're going to lose their support to start things out. Toronto Tugger with the BKB. Focus right now onto the Terra Blade. It's enough. Nightfall cannot get back in this game. That is a huge kill from BetBoom. Kiyotaka bought back, but wasn't able to get here in time.
Dude, Miero is such a boss.
He's a beast.
I love this Blink Dagger. He's just in there.
300 HP. Well, back to normal. He's going to get tossed back. He's in some trouble. Miero, he's so tanky, though. Going to buy some time for his team to hit some buildings. Into the fountain, finally drops.
Oh, that's a good Gale Force.
Yeah, they get one tower in the meantime. That's how pathetic their push is. Boy, those Serpent Wards being down would have been real handy there. So they're not really going to be able to get much out of the kill onto Nightfall. Thought that might have been the end. Like, if they had a tower pushing team, it would be ended.
Yeah, they could have got a full lane there with... I mean, Miero created how much time was that? Like 20, 25 seconds for them inside the enemy base? Serpent Wards would have got a lane, probably.
Oh, interesting that Kiritich takes the Jiddy pollen bag. Would think that would be a support.
Illusion.
Yeah, that is kind of curious. I guess the health restoration loss, is that valuable?
How does that work on Sunder? It doesn't do anything.
No,
right?
it shouldn't.
So it's just the Chen heals.
I guess the one upside for Kunkka is that you're generally going to be in the middle of the fight, so you will hit multiple heroes with this.
Yeah.
It's a radius around yourself, so... Curious. Maybe you just thought it sounded cool. I also want a GD pollen bag when I see one.
Hey,
oh, wait. Pango.
Yeah, he has Whisper of the Dread upgraded on
The
Lee.
Zune Bloodright.
Oh, these are the new tier 4s.
Yeah. So he gets the spells have 15% larger area of effect, but cost health equals to 35% of mana cost. These are some really cheap spells in terms of mana. Pangos are. That 15% AoE on Swash, on Shield Crash, and on the... Look at the Swashbuckles. They're big.
I didn't see.
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting looking at it. Look at it now.
I look.
GPK.
I look.
The ones going out to the side, that 15% is very noticeable. When you're running it with Ags, too. Not bad.
And Nightfall has an additional critical strike with Giant Maul.
Radiant are scanning.
It's combined with Titanic Enchantment, which gives the status resist and base attack damage, of course. So critical, it's a 1.5x critical strike with a movement slow. Lasts for 4 seconds, 15-second cooldown. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm not sure how good this one is. Like, it looks like one that feels great to have for carries because it's just like a flat, nice entry into the fight.
Kiyotaka smoked. Oh, they actually smoked right away as well. They're going to run right into him. That is a big Undying ult. Shackle onto 2, though. This RP is going to be gigantic. Do they have the follow-up damage, though? Avatars from Kiyotaka. The BKBs galore. Nightfall inside of the Serpent Wards. Another RP comes out, but the Undying is super safe. And now GPK applying pressure to Nightfall. Do they have the perma-stun? The Torrent is there. Nightfall dead again. And Kiyotaka and the rest of Aurora try to get the hell out of Dodge. Doesn't have blink for 10 seconds.
Oh, they see him
have
with that
the
ward.
chase? He goes for the neutral creep. Understandable. And he's dead. Double kill for GPK. 3 for nothing? Is that actually nothing? Yeah,
That was
that easy.
2 back-to-back RPs, and they just can't kill anyone because of the Coco's Rum, all the armor. Undying is invincible. So the targets that were offered up to them, this also happened during Wheel of Wonder, so I think they couldn't all attack anyway during the RPs.
Yeah, the first one.
I mean, this got to be game, right? The reason I'm not sure about it is
their building pushes atrocious.
Their pushing is rather pathetic, but 40 seconds on 3 heroes, you at least get the bot lane. And you're also pushing top wave in here with GPK, so it seems to be Mega is the call here for BetBoom. GPK. Oh, he's got to keep hitting this tower for a while to get through it up top, but eventually should get there. He's halfway. So I'll cheer GPK on as he goes for it. Let's go, Pango. Wow, 50 damage a hit. Get it. Well, that's terrible. It's respawn. They still don't have Tiny forever.
Well, they have Fortify.
Yep. And they do have displacement from Mag, but they really need the damage of Tiny. We've seen them struggle to kill these heroes.
Heritage with Daedalus now. That'll help a little bit. Arrow, Tombstone. The creep is going to town on it, tickling it at this rate. Yeah, 20 more seconds for Kiyotaka. Crimson Guard to try to delay. There's the Serpent Wards, though. Even a refresher on Toronto Tokyo with the skewer out onto the Undying. The Crimson Guard applied, though. The box is there. They actually cancel the RP mid-animation as Nightfall. Oh, they actually get the connection onto Toronto Tokyo. The stun lock into death. It's only a trade for Rasta right now. They get the shackle into the stun onto Kiritich. Toss back as well. Miero in the midst of things. Nightfall has to run back to base as Kiyotaka limply hitting with his Christmas tree. And actually, they kill Nightfall in the fountain. And surely that'll do it. GG's called. BetBoom. Very impressive 2-0 display here on the new patch.
Save spamming hearts on top of the Pangolier.